Voice of Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. Welcome back to me, Ahmad Faisal, at the program of special interview. Today's topic of our interview is International Francophonie Day. Well, on the occasion of International Francophonie Day on 20th March 2024, embassies from member countries and observers of Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie will hold International Francophonie Day. And to know more about this, here at the studio of Voice of Indonesia, there is Attache for Linguistic Cooperation of French Embassy in Indonesia, Julie Duperoir. How are you today, Julie?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, actually, first of all, I would like to say congratulations on the International Francophonie Day, which every year celebrated every 20th March.
Exactly. Every year, this specific day on the 20th of March is a day dedicating to the celebration of French language and also of the Francophone world, so all the French-speaking countries all around the world. And this day started in 1988, and it was launched by the organization of Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, the International Organization of Francophonie, which gather 88 member countries all around the world, and these countries are French-speaking countries. So this is a day dedicating to the diversity of the culture of these different countries, of the diversity of the languages as well, and the promotion of the French language all around the world, and it will also take place here in Indonesia.
So that's kind of history of International Francophonie Day.
Yes.
So what about if we see, about the progress year by year, it is also celebrated. What do we see, about this? I believe that this year's is a little different. We see about the theme or the agenda.
Yes, this year it's a kind of a special year for France because, as you know, France will host the Olympic and Paralympic Games next July. So this is also an opportunity with the theme of this Francophonie Week will be the sports. So a good introduction for the next event that will be host in July with the Olympic game. So everywhere around the world during March, and specifically on this 20th of March, the theme will be sports, so celebration of all kind of sports. And we have here in Indonesia, we will have a specific exhibition. Yes,
wow,
it will be at the Institut Français in Indonesia, and the exhibition will showcase all the women in the world of sports and in the Olympic Games.
So when we see, like you said before about the celebration, is will be held in Jakarta, especially at the embassy of France. Is there also such another celebration maybe when, it is also located maybe in one of Jakarta's, I can say like tourism destinations maybe?
Everywhere in Indonesia, actually.
Oh, okay.
So the event will take place here in Jakarta from the 18th to the 23rd of March. So the International Day of French Language is on the 20th of March, but we have chosen to celebrate this language and the diversity of the French-speaking world during 1 week with a rich program that maybe I can explain to you later. So we will have events here in Jakarta, but also in Surabaya, in Yogyakarta, Medan, Makassar, everywhere in Indonesia, in Bali as well. Cities. So all around the world and all around Indonesia as well.
Okay. Julie, actually, what kind of effort does your government to do to preserve the French language or its speakers apart from holding International Francophonie Day?
Actually, the French government, but also the government of all the members of this Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie make specific effort to promote the French language and this diversity. So, as a matter of fact, there are right now, as we are speaking, there are 321 million of French speakers all around the world, which is quite a lot of speakers, and it made French language one of the most spoken and thought language in the world. And we have estimated that in 2050 there will be around 750 million of French speakers all around the world. So this is a big community, linguistically speaking. And there are a lot of efforts from many governments, of course, and from the French government to promote the French language and this diversity of the culture. It can go, we can have the topic, of course, of education, promoting education, supporting the teachers and the youth also by providing resources, specific resources for teaching French, for instance, or promoting the students' mobility, and offering scholarship, for instance, to go abroad and to study abroad. We also have a lot of cooperation between countries, between Indonesia and France, also to promote the arts, the diversity of the arts, and to build those bridges with French language between cultures.
So this is interesting for me to ask about, like you said, about the government of France, France, really, focuses on preserving the language to many people, actually.
Yes.
So what about promoting French language to some, to university students of Indonesia?
Yes, in Indonesia, actually, there is a strong community of French speakers. There are 15 universities with 15 departments of French language here in Indonesia. There are around 500 high school would teach French, which is quite a lot. And there are, of course, all the network of Institut Français and Alliance Française, where people and all Indonesian people can come and learn French language. But already in the national university, private university, also everywhere in Indonesia, people can learn French. So we have an estimation of around maybe 65,000 people every year who are learning French, which is quite a big community here in Indonesia.
So still talking about the International Francophonie Day, Julie, actually what is the main theme of this agenda, this year, 2024?
So the main thing, because as I mentioned, it will be held all around the world, so we need to choose one theme. The Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie choose the theme of sport. So everywhere in the world you will have different events promoting the sports. As I said, here in Indonesia we have this exhibition at the Institut Français about women in sport, but we'll also have during 1 week everywhere in Indonesia some concerts, of course. We had here in Jakarta a day dedicating to literature. With an author, a French-speaking Indonesian author, who is coming specifically for the event, Nuril Basri, and he will hold a conference talking about his work. We also have an illustrator coming directly from Canada, and he will host a workshop specifically open to the public to show how you can express yourself through art, through illustration, using poesy as well. And we work also with, here in Jakarta, but everywhere in Indonesia, in all the different Institut Français and Alliance Française, with Indonesian artists, because this is also the main thing, to promote the diversity of French-speaking country and to have an exchange also with Indonesian culture.
Well, is there also such as French culture that will be performed during the celebration?
Yes, there will be exhibitions, there will be workshop around literature and working. We will also do some specific workshop from educational promotion also of studying in French, and to showcase also that French language, it's not just the language of romanticism, if I could say. It's also a language that is useful. This is one of the official language in institutions such as the Olympics, the UN also. So this is a language that matters, actually. It has its importance to work, to go abroad to study, of course. But this is a language of communication and also of employment and media as well. So this is part of the Francophonie, and here also in Indonesia, this is what we tend to do to promote this language as an international and useful language.
So, Julie, based on your, maybe the information that you have already got, how many countries will be involved during the celebration this year?
We are very lucky in Indonesia because in Indonesia there are, so I said that they are in the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie. We call it OIF. In this institution, there are 88 member countries, as I mentioned. And here in Indonesia, there are around 40 countries from OIF, which are represented here in Indonesia, which is quite a numerous of country. And we have the chance to collaborate with dozens of them to make the program, this program for this Semaine de la Francophonie, for this Francophonie week. And they will provide some movies, some musical show as well. We have a band specifically coming right away from Switzerland, which is a long way, and they are called Monsieur, and they will have a show on the closing ceremony on the 23rd of June. So there are a variety of programmation from those different countries represented here in Indonesia.
So, Julie, in Indonesia, I believe that lots of Indonesian people still study about French language.
Yes.
And when they are still learning, I believe that not all of them are really fluently in speaking, maybe in writing and also listening. So I mean, in this case, like you said before about during the exhibition, the workshop, what about the presentation, the language introduction? Do they also use French language, or also dubbing with English language?
No, it's really open to the public, and this is the goal. Actually, this is the main goal of this event, is to show that, first of all, French language is not that difficult.
Oh, it is.
Because we usually say that this is difficult. It's not that difficult, to be honest. I think Bahasa Indonesia is also a bit difficult, but French language and this event is really open to the public. And even though people who doesn't speak French at all. So all the events are specifically made to make the audience discover the French language and to be on their ease to assist to all the event, even though they don't speak French language yet, because maybe, we hope. we also have in many cities during this week some introduction to French language. So this is a good opportunity to try to learn French language also.
Okay, so from this exhibition or workshop, you can also say that learning French language is easy.
It's easy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's easy. I say it.
Good.
It's easy. Yeah.
So until now, how can your government still, promote about how to learn French language, especially in Jakarta, right? Not only university students, but I believe that also some workers would like to study about French language.
Yes.
So what about promotion to
this is the main goal of the Institut Français and the Alliance Française who are here in Indonesia. It's open to all the public, and as you mentioned, there are students, young students, but also workers who need French. And this is we always think about English as a language to work, but actually, as I mentioned, French language is one of the biggest community linguistically speaking in the world. So this is a language which is very useful, and of course, there are the universities, but also all the institutions, some institution and the Institut Français are here to make this promotion for workers and to provide maybe some classes specifically dedicated to workers and to the employment in a French-speaking world.
Well, to succeed about this the big agenda of International Francophonie Day. Does the Embassy of France also collaborate with Indonesian's maybe ministry or institutions such as maybe Ministry of Tourism or Ministry of Education in collaborating this?
Of course, because we are working closely with all the universities also, because many events will be hosted in some universities all around Indonesia. It's quite a very rich, with a lot of variety of events, and you can find all the program in detail on our website. So we collaborate closely with the universities here in Indonesia, and directly with the Ministry of Education, of course, with a lot of SMA, SMK, with a lot of high school. So yes, we were closely together, of course. Yeah.
Well, approximately how many participants will join this agenda?
That's a surprise,
based on,
actually.
based on your
Last year,
guests.
so this event was also hosted here in Indonesia with the contribution of different embassy, like this year. And last year we had around 2,050 participants. Cool. So, and it was quite special because this was the first time after the pandemic that we could host the event on live and not online. So we hope that this year we can have even more participants.
So you will also invite journalists, right, to cover?
Yes,
the agenda?
It's open to the public. So, and we, as I mentioned, there will be exhibition, there will be concerts, also, so live performing, DJs also from Indonesia we are coming here specifically in Jakarta. And on the closing day, on the 23rd of March, there will be some gastronomy, because each country will contributed will provide some speciality from their country. So this is a good opportunity to taste also some speciality from those speaking French countries.
Okay. Julie, before we come to the last question, actually, you said before you have been here for more than 1 year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to know what kind of Indonesian traditional foods that you have already tasted.
There's so many, actually.
Can you mention maybe one or two?
I like makanan Padang.
Oh, you like Padang?
Yes.
Padang soup. Yes. This is the traditional food.
Yes. I like all Indonesian.
You like
food,
it?
actually.
It's so spicy.
It's spicy, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But it's nice. It's nice. Yes.
Okay. So let's come to the last question. Actually, what is your hope for this event? Not only for Indonesian people who are studying French language, but also for many people around the world.
My hope is, of course, here in Indonesia that we have many participants and that Indonesian people can discover the language, of course, but not only the language. It's not just, Francophonie is not just about the French language. Okay. It's also about a community, a diversity of cultures, a diversity of economy, a diversity of way of thinking as well.
Oh, you mean building people to build contact?
Exactly. And I think French language is just a tool to build bridges between all those cultures, and I hope that everywhere in the world, but also here in Indonesia, people will recognize these connections and the importance also of this diversity of Francophonie.
Okay, Julie, thank you very much for your time and attention. We hope that this agenda still can continue year by year.
Yes.
And lots of participants will come and join this event.
Thank you. Merci.
Okay. So, listener and viewers, Voice of Indonesia, that was our special review with Attache for Linguistic Cooperation of French Embassy in Indonesia, Julie Duperoir.
Voice of Indonesia.